Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, today we're going to do a deep dive into AI and its impact on global development. I know you're thinking AI and development, like that doesn't really sound that exciting, does it? But trust me, this is way more fascinating than you might expect. We're going to be talking about a new report from the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB. That looks at how AI is already being used in Latin America and the Caribbean and what the future might look like.
Yeah, what I think is so fascinating about this report is it kind of cuts through the hype and gets into the nitty-gritty of what it takes for a region to really benefit from AI.
Right.
It's not just about, having the newest gadgets, it's about having the right conditions in place to actually put AI to work for development.
Oh, so it's like
Okay.
it's like having all of the ingredients for a cake, but not knowing how to actually bake it.
Yeah.
You could end up with a real mess instead of something amazing.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And this report really lays out three key pillars that are crucial for responsible AI development: institutions and governance, data and infrastructure, and people. And each of these pillars is really interconnected, and neglecting any one of them could spell trouble for a region that's hoping to harness the power of AI.
Okay, so let's break down these pillars a little bit. So first up, we have institutions and governance. What does that actually mean in the context of AI?
So think of it this way. We have rules and regulations for almost everything in society, right? From driving cars to building houses. And AI is no different. In fact, because it's such a powerful technology, it's even more important to have clear guidelines in place. Institutions and governance are all about establishing those rules of the road for AI.
So we need to make sure that AI is developed and used in a way that aligns with our values and that protects people's rights.
Exactly. And that includes things like data privacy, algorithmic bias,
Mhm.
and accountability. We need to make sure that AI systems are transparent, that people understand how they work, and that there are mechanisms for addressing any negative consequences.
The report actually details some different models for AI governance emerging around the world, which is pretty interesting. Some countries are setting up entirely new agencies to oversee AI, while others are adapting existing institutions.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Wild West out there right now, with everyone trying to figure out the best approach. What's important is that we learn from each other and that we don't rush into creating regulations that could stifle innovation.
Right, because we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Mm.
We need to find that sweet spot between fostering innovation and protecting people. Okay, on to pillar number 2, data and infrastructure. This one seems pretty straightforward. AI needs data to function, right?
Yeah, it's true that data is the fuel that powers AI. But it's not just about having lots of data, it's about having the right kind of data. And that's where
Mhm.
things get a little bit more complicated.
So we're talking about quality over quantity.
Absolutely. The data needs to be high quality, representative, and relevant to the problems that you're trying to solve with AI. If you're training an AI system to diagnose diseases, for example, you need to make sure that the data it's learning from is accurate and covers a diverse range of cases.
And it's not just about the data itself. It's also about the infrastructure needed to collect, store, process,
Hmm.
and share that data securely.
That's right. We need robust cybersecurity measures in place to protect sensitive data from breaches and misuse. And we need to ensure that data is accessible to those who need it, while also respecting privacy concerns. It's a delicate balancing act.
The report actually highlights a specific challenge for Latin America and the Caribbean in this area. A lot of information in the region is still paper-based. That seems like a major hurdle for AI adoption.
It is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity. Digitizing all of that information is a huge undertaking, but it could also be a catalyst for modernizing government services and improving efficiency.
So it's like killing two birds with one stone. You're making the transition to a digital economy while also laying the groundwork for AI adoption. Okay, let's move on to the final pillar, which is all about people.
This is perhaps the most important pillar of all, because ultimately AI is a tool that's created and used by people. We need a workforce that's skilled in AI, not just engineers who can build the technology, but also people who understand how to use it effectively in various sectors.
So we're talking about everything from doctors who can interpret AI-generated diagnoses to teachers who can use AI-powered learning platforms to personalize education.
Exactly. And we also need people who understand the ethical implications of AI and who can ensure that it's used responsibly.
This report uses a phrase that I think is really key here: AI literacy. It's not just about having a few experts who understand AI. It's about ensuring that everyone has a basic understanding of what it is, how it works, and its potential impact on society.
Think of it like learning a new language. You don't need to be fluent to get by, but you need to know enough to understand what's being said and to participate in the conversation.
And that's true for everyone, from students and workers to business leaders and policymakers. The more people understand AI, the better equipped we'll be to harness its power for good and to mitigate the potential risks.
Absolutely. AI is not some far-off futuristic concept. It's already here, and it's changing the world around us. The sooner we all get up to speed, the better.
The report doesn't shy away from the fact that Latin America and the Caribbean is lagging behind global leaders. When it comes to AI readiness, what are some of the biggest gaps that need to be addressed?
One major challenge is infrastructure. Access to high-performance computing, or HPC, is crucial for training complex AI models. But the region is significantly behind in this area. Brazil leads with 8 out of the 41 HPC platforms in Latin America and the Caribbean. But other countries are lagging. This lack of HPC infrastructure limits advancements in research innovation and ultimately economic development.
And what about data? I mean, everyone's talking about big data these days.
Right. But as we mentioned, a lot of information in the region is still paper-based. Digitization efforts are underway, but it's a slow process. We need to speed this up if we want to be players in the AI game.
The report also uses this interesting phrase, absorptive capacity. Can you unpack that for us? It sounds a bit technical.
It sounds complex, but it's actually quite simple. It basically means having the right conditions in place to actually benefit from a technology like AI. It's not enough to just have the tools you need, the ecosystem to support them.
So it's like planting a seed. You need fertile soil, sunlight, water for it to grow. For AI, that means investment in infrastructure, education, and smart regulations that encourage innovation while protecting people.
Precisely. And this is where the IDB sees a critical moment for Latin America and the Caribbean. Decisions made now about how to invest in those 3 pillars, institutions, data, and people, will determine whether the region rides the AI wave or gets left behind.
No pressure, right?
Yeah.
So what are some of those key decisions that need to be made? Where do we even begin?
Well, governments need to create comprehensive AI governance frameworks. Think clear guidelines on data privacy, algorithmic transparency, and ethical considerations. We need to prevent AI from being used in ways that discriminate against people or violate their rights. And we need to make sure that we're investing in the infrastructure and education needed to support a thriving AI ecosystem.
That sounds like a tall order.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to think about the potential if we get it right.
You know, when we talk about AI and its impact on development, it's easy to get caught up in the potential risks, job displacement, algorithm bias, all of that. But what really struck me about this IBB report is the emphasis on how AI can actually help reduce inequality, not just worsen it.
Oh, that's a refreshing perspective.
Mhm.
We've been talking about the potential for AI to widen the gap between the haves and the have-nots. But you're saying it could actually help level the playing field.
Exactly. The report points out that if AI is designed and deployed with equity in mind, it can be a powerful tool for inclusion. It's about being intentional and thoughtful in how we harness this technology.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me some concrete examples. How can AI actually promote inclusion and reduce inequality?
Let's start with something like lending practices. Imagine an AI system that can help mitigate bias in loan applications, ensuring that people from marginalized communities have equal access to credit.
So instead of reinforcing existing biases like we've seen with some algorithms in the past, AI could actually help break them down.
Precisely. And think about education. AI can personalize learning experiences, making education more accessible for students with disabilities, or those who might not thrive in traditional classroom settings.
That's a game changer. It's like AI could give everyone a chance to reach their full potential regardless of their background or circumstances.
And in healthcare, AI can improve early disease detection, particularly in underserved communities. It can also expand access to specialized care through telemedicine and remote diagnostics.
So we could see AI-powered mobile clinics bringing healthcare to people in remote areas, or AI systems helping doctors make more accurate diagnoses even when they're miles away from their patients.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the potential for AI to develop new drugs and treatments for diseases that disproportionately affect low-income populations.
Wow, this is starting to sound a lot more optimistic than I initially expected. It's like AI could be this incredible equalizer bridging gaps that have existed for far too long.
There's definitely reason for optimism, but it's crucial to remember that AI's potential for good hinges on the choices we make. If we're not careful, AI could easily exacerbate those existing inequalities.
So it all comes back to that idea of responsible AI development,
Yeah.
using this technology intentionally and thoughtfully. always keeping in mind the potential impact on different groups of people.
Precisely. And the IDB report lays out some really concrete steps that can be taken to ensure that the benefits of AI are widely and equitably distributed.
Okay, let's dive into those steps. What needs to happen to make this vision of an inclusive AI future a reality?
First and foremost, we need to make sure that everyone has access to the resources they need to participate in the AI economy. That means investing in education and training, particularly in underserved communities, so that everyone has the opportunity to develop the skills needed for an AI-powered world.
So it's about leveling the playing field from the start, making sure that no one is left behind in this technological revolution.
Right. And it also means expanding access to the internet and digital technologies, which are essential for participating in the AI economy. We can't have a situation where only a privileged few have the tools and resources to benefit from AI.
So closing the digital divide is absolutely crucial. But it's not just about access to technology. It's also about making sure that the technology itself is inclusive.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the potential impact of AI on different groups of people and make sure that AI systems are designed and deployed in ways that don't discriminate against anyone.
And that requires constant vigilance, right?
Oh.
It's not enough to just build inclusive systems. We need to constantly monitor and evaluate them to make sure they're working as intended.
Exactly. Responsible AI development is an ongoing process. It's about being proactive, anticipating potential problems, and being willing to course correct when necessary.
The report also talks about the importance of involving diverse voices in the development and deployment of AI. Why is that so crucial?
Imagine an AI system that's designed by a small group of people from a similar background. That system is likely to reflect the biases and perspectives of that group, which could have unintended consequences for people who don't fit that mold.
So we could end up with AI systems that are great for some people, but terrible for others, simply because the people who built them didn't consider a wide enough range of perspectives.
Exactly. We need to make sure that the people who are building AI systems represent the diversity of the populations that those systems will impact. That means including people from different backgrounds, genders, races, ethnicities, abilities, and socioeconomic statuses.
It's about making sure that everyone has a seat at the table when decisions are being made about the future of AI.
Precisely. And it's not just about representation in the development process. It's also about creating opportunities for people from marginalized communities to participate in the AI economy. We need to make sure that everyone has the chance to benefit from this technology. Amidst all this talk about policy and infrastructure and, all these big picture things, there's this really vibrant energy that comes through in this IDB report, this incredible wave of AI entrepreneurship that's sweeping across Latin America and the Caribbean.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the region's entrepreneurial spirit has found this perfect outlet in AI. It's not just big tech companies driving this. It's individuals with a vision tackling local challenges with AI solutions.
Yeah, it's truly inspiring. And these aren't just, copycats of Silicon Valley startups. These are entrepreneurs who are deeply rooted in their communities. They understand the unique needs, and they're leveraging AI to make a real difference.
I love that real-world impact. Tell me about some of these AI entrepreneurs that are really making waves. What kind of problems are they tackling?
So imagine you're a farmer in Argentina. You're struggling with unpredictable weather, and you're trying to maximize your crop yields. Now imagine you have this, pocket-sized AI advisor that's providing real-time recommendations on everything from irrigation to pest control. Well, that's exactly what one company is doing down there. They've developed a platform that uses sensors in the field to collect data. And then that data is analyzed by machine learning algorithms to give farmers personalized advice.
Wow. So it's like giving traditional farming practices a high-tech makeover. It's proof that AI isn't just about inventing flashy new gadgets. It's about making the tools we already have work smarter and more effectively. Are there any other examples of this AI boost for existing systems?
Yeah, think about solar energy. It's a fantastic source of clean energy. But its efficiency depends heavily on weather conditions. A company in Chile is using AI to address this. They've created an algorithm that predicts solar panel output based on weather patterns, helping to optimize energy production and keep costs down.
I mean, it's really incredible. This report really underscores the importance of nurturing this AI entrepreneurial ecosystem. What can governments and organizations do to make sure these startups thrive?
Well, access to funding is crucial. Developing AI solutions takes serious capital, and traditional investors might be hesitant to kind of jump into the AI game. We need investors who understand the potential of this technology and are willing to back these innovative companies.
Right, so it's not just about throwing money at the problem. It's about finding investors who are both savvy and daring. What else can be done to create that supportive environment?
Think of it as creating fertile ground for these AI startups to grow. Mentorship programs, access to networks, connections to industry experts. All of these are essential. And of course, governments play a huge role by crafting policies that encourage AI innovation. Tax breaks for startups, streamlined regulations, anything that reduces the barriers to entry and fosters a healthy competitive landscape.
Right, it's a team effort, really. Everyone needs to be on board to create an ecosystem where these entrepreneurs can thrive. Now, speaking of responsibility, we can't ignore the ethical considerations that come with AI development. What are some of the big ethical challenges that these AI entrepreneurs need to grapple with?
Well, one of the most significant challenges is the potential for AI systems to inherit and even amplify biases that are present in the data they learn from. Even with the best intentions, entrepreneurs could inadvertently create AI that discriminates against certain groups. Imagine a hiring algorithm that favors certain demographics based on biased historical data.
Yeah, that's a scary thought. It really highlights the need for constant vigilance. What practical steps can these entrepreneurs take to make sure their AI is ethical and doesn't perpetuate harmful biases?
Well, the first line of defense is the data itself. They need to be extremely careful about the data sets they use to train their algorithms, ensuring that the data is diverse and representative of the populations their AI will serve. Rigorous testing is also non-negotiable. They need to put their AI systems through the ringer looking for any signs of bias, and be ready to go back to the drawing board if they find any place.
So it's about being proactive, not reactive. It's about anticipating potential problems and building safeguards into the system from the ground up. But, as we've discussed, it goes beyond just technical checks.
Absolutely. Ethical considerations need to be baked into the company's DNA, not just a box to pick on a checklist. It's about creating a culture of responsibility and accountability, where ethical implications are considered at every step of the development process.
This IDB report makes a compelling case for AI as a powerful tool for social and economic development in Latin America and the Caribbean. I feel like they're really putting their institutional weight behind this vision.
They are, and it's inspiring to see. They understand that AI isn't just a technological advancement, it's an opportunity to address deep-rooted challenges and unlock the region's potential. But they also don't shy away from the potential pitfalls.
We've unpacked a lot of complex issues today, from the risk of widening inequality to the critical need for ethical AI development. As we wrap up, what's the key message you want our listeners to walk away with?
The biggest takeaway, the one I hope will stick with everyone, is this. The future of AI is not preordained. It's a story we're all writing together, and we each have a role to play in shaping it.
I love that. You're saying we're not just passengers on this AI train. We're in the driver's seat collectively holding the steering wheel.
Exactly. We have the power to steer this technology towards a future that benefits everyone. The choices we make today, the questions we ask, the demands we make on those developing AI will determine what that future looks like.
This IDV report is a call to action. It's a reminder that AI is already shaping our lives, whether we realize it or not. And it's up to all of us to make sure that shaping happens consciously, ethically, and for the greater good.
So listener, consider this. What is your role in this AI revolution? How can you contribute to ensuring AI is a force for good in your community, in your country, in the world? We hope this deep dive has given you the knowledge and the inspiration to start asking those questions and to become an active participant in shaping the future of AI.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. It's been an absolute pleasure exploring the frontiers of AI and development with you.
The pleasure was all mine.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive, where we'll continue to unravel the complexities of our world and explore the ideas that are shaping the future.